Good morning. Today we are going to introduce Unix to EE102L students or anybody who is new to Unix and taking EE courses. I am Gandhi Povada, and myself and my colleague Bilal Zafar have made this addendum, which is part of EE102L lab manual. Some of you may be familiar with Unix. If so, you can skip this. If you are new to Unix, this introduction will help you. One of the tools you have or references you have is the ISD website at USC. ISD stands for Information Services Division, www.usc.edu/ISD, and you can search. And one of the things you can arrive at is Unix concepts. So it has several topics. In fact, we have taken a lot of information from these. One of the things which is very useful is Unix commands, and let us go through some of the useful introductory commands which every student in E102L needs to know. Um, so for example, here is talking about Unix computing at USC, about your accounts, how they are set up, how you are supposed to log in for the first time, accessing Unix accounts. So this is a good information which probably you would like to go through sometime. Let's proceed. So um, some of the information, general information, is that Unix was developed by AT&T Bell Labs in 1969, later improved by UC Berkeley and called Berkeley Unix, and um, and companies like Sun Microsystems, etc., have customized to their requirement. For example, the Unix by Sun is called Solaris, and at USC we have a set of computers under the cluster called SCF, Student Computing Facility, and there are two major machines, time-shared machines, Aludra and Nanki, and of course there are several Sun workstations in various user rooms which you can access. The important thing is that the file system is common to all of these, so it doesn't matter whether you work on Aludra or SAL or from home, log into Aludra or one of these, you access the same file system. Sun uses CDE, common desktop environment, which looks more like the Windows workspace with a file manager, terminal, etc. So you can use that or just xterm and command line entry. One of the things you need to know is the shell you are working in. C shell and T shell are desirable, but if you are configured to bash, we ask you to revert to T shell. We are going to tell you how to do that. If, to find what shell you are in, you can type echo $shell. So let me show you. I'm using my EView account. Let me go to my home directory. This is my account EView. So one of the commands is who am I, and that shows the username, in this case EView, and PWD is print working directory, and that shows that I'm in EView and I'm on SCF06. So there are several file systems and I'm on SCF06. So print working directory is an important command. And now I'm going to do echo $shell in capital letters. Unix is type sensitive, uppercase, lowercase sensitive, case sensitive. So I'm running C shell, and some people run T shell. That's fine, but I think this is not. It's not good to use B shell, bash, Bourne shell. And if you need to change shell, you can do change shell, chsh is the command to change the shell, but I don't think you come across. So let's get to the Unix commands. Basically the syntax is the command minus any options or switches and perhaps some arguments. We will show you a few commands and I ask you to try it out. The basic list command is very important to list the files or directories. Um, for example, I can do ls, and of course I have too many files, as you can see. There's so many files, and probably you will have a few files. And ls minus l I have not introduced, but let me use the pipe, the vertical line, pipe to more. I will explain that later. So ls minus l option means long format. So it shows the date a file is created, the number of bytes in the file, the date is, this is a very old file, September 28, 1995, and also the name of the file. So this is the long format. So ls is the command minus some options or switches. There are several switches for each command. So ls is list files. ls minus l, ls minus l means long with t, the latest on the top. For example, if I use the same command, let me quit, q for quit, ls minus lt, pipe to more. Pipe to more is yet to be explained. Please notice that the latest file I created in January 19th at evening 6:27 is shown on the top because T switch shows chronological sorted by time. And also notice that for old files they show the year, but for the current files, instead of showing the year, they show the time of creation. And D means directory, so Xilinx is a directory or subdirectory under my home directory, and this is just a file. So please differentiate between directories and ordinary files. ls minus la, a means all files, including the dot files or hidden files. For example, instead of ls minus lt, if I use ls minus lta, let's see what happens. ls minus lta, then I will again pipe to more, and you start seeing some dot files, dot vnc, dot innovada, dot pinorc, dot login, etc. So the hidden files are also shown when you say all files with the minus a option. Those are some of the list commands. I can ask, instead of showing all the files in the current directory, I can say, I can specify a particular subdirectory and see the files within that. For example, here I have a little before you have seen that I have a directory called Xilinx, D for directory, and I just want to see the files in that directory, not all the files in my home directory. So I can do ls minus lt Xilinx. So let's do that. ls minus lt Xilinx. By the way, Xilinx is one of the companies producing FPGAs, and you will be using Xilinx tools. And it shows all the files in the Xilinx subdirectory, again in a chronological order. So let's proceed. Well, this is not important. The root directory in Unix is slash, and under that you have slash home, slash user, temp, etc. This is slash is very much like C:/slash in Windows system. But you are, as I said, you are under slash auto slash home SEF 06 or 20 or whatever slash your username. That's your home directory. Okay. So pwd I have already shown is for print working directory, and it shows you the directory you are currently in. For example, I can do cd for change directory to Xilinx, the subdirectory we just now went. So now I am in Xilinx subdirectory. I can check whether I am in Xilinx what subdirectory I am in by, for example, typing pwd, and it shows I'm in Xilinx subdirectory under EEView. So you can go down and go up the directories. cd is for change directory command, cd followed by a directory command. So there are a few things I will cover and then show you in your handout. This handout is available in E102L lab manual and also posted on E102L website. So let's see. So if I do cd dot dot, I'm going up back to my upper directory, in this case pwd, the home directory. I can actually go back to Xilinx. Under Xilinx, you see that there is a directory called ROM test. So I can further go down cd to ROM test, and I can do pwd, and it shows the complete path. I went to EEView, Xilinx, ROM test, and now if I do cd dot dot, I go up only by one step, so I go back to Xilinx. So let me come back to ROM test. Now again I am in subdirectory Xilinx / ROM test. Now I can go one step at a time, cd dot dot to go up one step, another cd dot dot to go up here, or if I want to go to my home directory directly without going through steps, I can simply do cd, and I will, wherever I am, in whatever subdirectory I am, I'll come back to my home directory. So I come here, and you can check pwd, I'm here. So let's go back to Xilinx underscore ROM test. I can specify a path, and I can go all the way in one stroke. I can go there. Now another way to get back to the home directory is cd tilde. Where is it on my keyboard? I'm not. Cd tilde and that cd tilde takes me back to the home directory again. And sometimes if I'm in a subdirectory like cd-rom Xilinx ROM test, and if I want to go to a subdirectory for example something like this, let's see, there is a directory called E457 manual fall 2002 or whatever, and that is under my root directory or home directory. So I can say cd tilde slash excuse me, there's a space. I should not have any spaces, so let me try again. Cd space tilde slash. So what I'm doing is, though I am in a subdirectory called Xilinx ROM test, I can choose to go all the way cd change directory to tilde the home directory slash this. So I'm there, and you can check using pwd that you are there. So tilde means tilde references to the home directory. Okay, let's proceed. And that's what, by the way, the dot refers to the current directory, tilde refers to the home directory, dot dot means one step above, and so change directory dot dot means go back one step. Cd delta tilde means go back to the home directory, so on and so forth. Application programs such as EPD, Electronic Product Designer, etc., or under USC, user USC, let's check that. Cd /user usc, that's a very big directory, /epd, now pwd. So that shows auto power view. Now it may say, you may see that this is not what it is showing. There are logical names and physical names. This is a physical name and this is a logical name or an alias. So pwd shows, print working directory shows the physical path echo echo $cwd, current working directory, shows the logical path user usc epd. Under this epd, of course, we have different installations. The current installation is pointed to by the default, and cd default, for example, and that shows 3.0 version is the current directory. I'm going back to my home directory cd. I'm back to my home directory called eeview. Okay. When you log in, two important files are executed, .cshrc, .login, and these are very much like auto execute.bat batch file in Windows, if you are familiar with Windows. Anyway, these two files are executed actually .cshrc first, and then that is executed. The word in Unix terminology is sourced, means executed. So CSHRC is executed first, followed by .login, and these set up your path and other environment variables, and they are very important. They should not be corrupted or modified without thought. They can be modified, but you have to be careful. And if they get corrupted, then you don't see your usual prompt. The prompt in my case is aludra something, and the prompt, inside that prompt, if you start seeing something like a greater than sign or dollar sign prompt, that means those files are corrupted, and you need to copy the original CSHRC and login files from this area. But once you bring in the original files, they lack all the setups you made. It's best to come to us and we will help you. If you ever forget your password, then you have to call ISD at this number 05555 and ask them to reset it, and then you can again change password. You can change your password any number of times, PASSWD password. Sometimes you want to change if you think that somebody saw your password, then you want to change. So let's get to Unix commands. Some of the directory management commands are make directory, change directory. We have already seen change directory, print working directory, change directory, ls list command, then remove directory. So let's talk about make directory and remove directory. Going back here, so I'm going to make a directory called mkdir make directory ee102l _ Unix. So since we are introducing Unix, let's call that, and then cd ee102l. You can grab with mouse and then press the middle button of the mouse. So I went to that, I'm checking that I'm there. Obviously it's a new directory, so there are no files except for some hidden files about the directory. Now I'm going to create a very simple file. I have not introduced Emacs, a text editor, but let me show you anyway. Emacs welcome .text. So basically a text editor command like Emacs followed by the file name with ampersand, run it in the background. I will talk about it a little later, and that brings a window for me to create a text file. In this case, if it opens, there are commands which you get used to. I can have multiple partitions, or I can have one partition, and I can type something welcome to USC, and I can grab and go to edit and say copy and then come down and paste. I can even use Control C, Control V, very much like no, not exactly, Control Y to paste, and so it's not exactly like Windows. But please notice that it shows the file name welcome.txt here, and the double asterisk show that it's not yet saved. Please see when I put the mouse there, modified, and it shows what I can do with the mouse. So I can go to file and save. So it is saved, and now you see that the asterisks at the bottom are vanished. But if I start modifying, I type a return, then it says that the buffer is not saved, so on and so forth. So let me save it again and save and exit. Save current buffer, and then to quit you say exit. So I just created a text file. Now if I use ls, it shows the file I created. This is the file I created. This is the old file or backup file saved with tilde. So sometimes after editing, you may say, no, what I did is wrong. I want to see the old file. So you can always retrieve the old file. So let me do this, more the old file with tilde. So that does not have a return at the bottom, whereas the new file has a return at the bottom. So we did not talk about more, but more is a simple command to basically type or display the file on the screen. So this is the difference, namely the blank line added to um, the welcome.txt. Now ls minus lt long format shows that I have created this file on February 9th at 10:57, and it consists of 33 bytes, and it can be read or written, cannot be executed. If it's an execution file, I would use RWX. So these three, R for read, W for write, and the next is if activated X for execute. So there is a command called chmod change mode, ch for change, mod mod for mod mode, change mode, and I can say 700 to make it executable. Of course this is not executable, it's not right to do that, but I'm just showing you that now it became readable, writable, executable. By whom? By me, by the group, and by the world. So let me get it back to read write. So 7 means it's like binary 111, 6 means 110. So chmod change mode 6 means I should be able to read and write. 00 means it's not accessible by others, and the file name welcome.txt. And I'm again checking ls minus lt. So it's now read write. If I want to make this file accessible by the world, everybody, then I would do perhaps chmod 644 and that file name. And now you see that I can read and write, whereas others can only read. The group can only read and public can only read. So this is change mode command. Let's proceed. So remove directory, I can create a directory and remove it also. Make directory mkdir test. So I'm creating a directory called test ls minus l. So you see that the directory is created. Now rm directory, remove directory, test will remove that directory, and rm remove removes a file. For example, I can remove this file called the backup file, and that's gone. That's gone because ls minus lt shows only no directory called test, no welcome.txt tilde, the backup file, so I removed them. So let's go and continue with our lecture. So file management. So I talked about chmod, change mode, removing. Um, let me see if I explicitly. RM is remove for removing files. RM dir is remove directory. So here we are talking about remove. You can move, you can copy. Let me show you those. So I can copy this file with another name. Copy source file destination. I may want to have another copy with the name e102l underscore welcome.txt. So I copied ls minus lt. So I created welcome.txt at 10:57, but now at 11:02 I copied the same file with this name. So I can check whether there's a difference. So let me do one thing. Emacs, I'm editing welcome.txt, and I'm slightly changing the content. Welcome to USC. Welcome to USC E102L. Let me write here E102L. And in the next line, welcome to Wolin Hall of Engineering 336 E102L lab. So I am saving it, file save. I actually saved using hotkeys, and I'm exiting. So you can do more command, for example, to see the contents of this. And I can use diff command, difference. I want to see the difference between this and this. If they are nearly identical and they differ very rarely, the diff shows the difference. So it differs in all the lines in this particular case, but diff is a comparison command to compare files. Occasionally you want to say, okay, pwd, I'm here. Where did I go? Yes, E102L Unix. So I can do ls tilde slash Xilinx. So I'm using a absolute path. Wherever I am, it doesn't matter. With respect to my home directory under Xilinx, show me the files, but I want to direct that output to a more command, because otherwise you will be showing a very long list, and I want you to show a screen at a time. So it shows these files. Let me use the long format command, ls minus lt tilde slash Xilinx. I'm looking for a small file which I want to copy. So suppose I want to copy this file called coregenlog, which is under Xilinx. So right now I am in this subdirectory E102L Unix, but I want to copy the file under home directory under Xilinx called coregen.log. I want to copy it down into my current directory, namely this. If you want to have a new name, you can specify the new name, but if you want the name to be preserved, instead of typing copy it to coregen.log, I can simply say copy it to the current directory, meaning obviously with the same name. So the point I want to say is dot means current directory. So return, and it copied ls minus lt. So I have quotient.log copied here. Now I can say, just for the sake of demonstration, I can say difference, find the difference between this file and this file. Obviously they are identical and it doesn't show any difference. Okay, let's proceed. So that is copy. On the other hand, if I did, instead of copy, if I did move, MV for move, the same thing. Basically I'm moving it from the source area to the destination, so the source area will not have a copy. So I guess you differentiate between copy and move. I'm not doing this. Control U for cancelling the command. Okay, let's proceed. Sometimes your remove command may be aliased remove with -i. Let me show you that. If I say remove with -i switch this particular file, see, it is asking, it's not removing, it's asking for confirmation. Do you really want me to remove? So that is the -i interrogate whether it's a mistake or he really wants to remove. That is for safeguarding. So some of you may have your rm command alias to rm-i, and if you want to remove several files, you do not want to go through this. So if you do not want to use your remove command, which is aliased like this, you can use the original remove command /bin/remove, and you can use -r for recursively, and that means recursively remove everything including the subdirectories, etc. Sometimes you want to remove a subdirectory with its subdirectories and all, so then you have to use this -recursive. The dot means you are referring to the current directory. Let's proceed. Okay, text editors. There are three important text editors: VI for visual editor, Pico, very simple editor, and Emacs. These are the three editors. Depending on what you started with, you tend to like one or other. I use Emacs. Emacs is very easy and also has graphical interface. So Emacs is the command followed by the name of the file you want to edit or create, and preferably with an ampersand sign, which I will discuss a little later. At the end, you can do file save buffer, or you can use the menu command, or you can use the hotkeys. Control X, Control S is for saving, and for quitting, Control X, Control C is identical to exiting the program. The old copy is saved with a tilde, as we have seen a little before. This is the old copy and this is the current copy. Then if by any chance, if you while I'm editing, periodically it does autosave, and the autosaved file will be within the pound symbols, pound file name pound. Let's proceed. Some of the commands which are very important are grep. These are not necessary for the beginner, but as you proceed, you will find this very useful. For example, ls-l gives me the complete list of the files. Let me and I want only those files with E102L and with homework. So let me demonstrate this to you. So let me go back to my home directory, pwd eeview. Now you know, if I do ls, I get a very long list of files because mine is a very congested directory. So I want to only look at the readme files. So I can do ls readme star. So these are the wildcards. So all the files starting with readme are shown. Now what if I do not know whether readme is in the beginning or at the end or in the middle? So I can say ls star readme star. So that also works. Now what if I say I want uh, I want the files with EE102L, ls star EE102, then that shows, for example, this file. So let us say I vaguely remember that there is a file, it's a readme file, and it is about E102L, but unfortunately I do not know whether readme occurs first before E102L or other way around. So you see my dilemma. If I say this star readme star EE102 star, so these are wildcards. So the file should contain, oh I typed wrong, excuse me. So ls star readme star EE102 star. So I'm looking for files with readme somewhere and E102L somewhere. However, readme should come before E102L. Anything followed by readme followed by anything followed by E102 followed by anything. That's what I'm asking, and I did find what I want. But if I do other way around, I will not find, as you would guess, ls star E102 star readme. I will fail to find the file I'm looking for because the order is not, E102L is not occurring before readme. So if I do not know the order, then it is difficult to try out all orders. What about this? This is better than ls. Whatever ls produces, pipe send that information to another command called grep. Grep is a filtering command. So look, we'll filter those lines which have readme, and then further filter those lines which have, so grep again, pipe to grep EE102L. So I found it. The important thing is here the order doesn't matter. I could have done ls pipe to grep EE102L pipe to grep to readme. So the order does not matter because you can filter in any order. So grep is a very useful command. Here I am grepping or filtering based on E102L and further filtering homeworks. So any file containing E102L anywhere and homework anywhere in the file name is listed. grep also can be used with a keyword to search a file, the lines where the lines containing that keyword. For example, let me show you. Let me use this some random file. So don't worry, what is this file about? So it is about some power view. So I want to grep with the keyword PV, and the file name is this. So basically the grep command will go through this file and show me all the lines where PV is present, and that's the purpose of this. So these lines are the ones where PV occurs in the line. So grep is again grep followed by a keyword followed by the file you are searching or a number of files you are searching. You can have asterisks. You can actually look through all the files. So you can put dot, the complete current directory, all the files in the current directory will be checked. So that will be useful. Let's proceed. we have been using the more command already. Tar is like a zip command. You can create a tar file or zip file. Uh, a complete directory can be zipped, or a few file selected files can be zipped, and then you can see what are the files in the tar file. So for example, here let me show you. It's not important that you know this. ls minus lat grep drw. So what I'm doing is I'm asking all the files to be shown, but I'm looking for drw, d for directory in the long format. So basically I'm looking for all the directories, and these are the directories. And why I did is I did not remember the directory I created, and the directory is E102L Unix. So it's D for directory. Now all directories are considered as executable because you make operations into them. So let me create a tar file, tar file name. Maybe I want to name it like this, and the directory or file name I want to tar or zip. So once again, tar in the command, tar file, the destination zip file is not zip file, but it is similar to zip file, and what you want to put into that file, directory or some files. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. Tar minus cvf, c for create, and then all this. So it has appended these things which are in the directory into this. So now I have ls minus l, one file which includes everything. Now if I want to carry a directory with subdirectories and all the files, I can create a tar file and then take it to some other account and open it or extract it. And the other two commands are tar minus tvf to simply tabulate the files, and tar minus xvf to extract the files. We talked about echo command a little before at the beginning. We use this command echo $shell, and what happened? Sorry, echo $shell, and it showed me C shell. Basically, shell is an environment variable. For environment variables, you prefix dollar to say that environment variable, and all the environment variables can be produced by env. Env means environment, and I'm piping to more because otherwise it will scroll through quickly. So the username is eeview, log name is eeview, home directory is so and so, the path, which is very important, is that much. So there are several variables. The display, I am on Aludra USC some 24 display. So operating system Sun OS 5, so on and so forth. So these are very important, and some of these are set up by our setup files. For example, Xilinx is equated to this, and somewhere license file is equated to something, working directory is equated to so on and so forth. Within your path, you will see that we have set your path to pick up EPD commands, so that also will be there. So environment is very important. For example, if you want to find your display, you have two choices. You can say echo $display and return, and the display is shown. Or you can do this environment, so which means list all this, but then I am going to filter grep on disp. I don't have to spell the whole thing, and now I have that information. So we have introduced echo, and echo path, for example, shows the complete path, which which is which rm remove command. Where am I picking up remove command? I am picking up from bin/remove, which dash command for EPD, and that is coming from this. So which is an important command. Next. Okay. Environment we have talked about. Lastly, PS, process management. PS stands for list the process. So these are the process, but not all processes are shown by PS. A better command is PS AUX. There's no minus sign for these switches. Pipe to grep username. The username is EView here, and that shows all the information. EView is the user. The second item is the process ID, and if I want to kill some process, I can kill that. For example, here I am doing this xterm, or let me do something else. X calculator, CAL calculator, X calculator with ampersand sign. I will talk about ampersand sign again later. So I created a calculator, a Unix calculator window. Now if I do this, it will show me that there's a process called X calculator running, and maybe for whatever reason this is stuck and it's not working, so I may not be able to close even using this if the process is stuck. And if I want to kill that process, kill, and I can say, oh, I want to kill this X calculator process. The process ID is 14488. So kill followed by the process ID, and it terminated that process. So once again, actually this minus sign is not required. PS AUX grep username, and I introduce kill process ID. Sometimes you want to kill not only the process, the child process. So kill -9 process ID is a hard kill. Kill the process and its child process. Kill -9 -1 means kill everything, including, if I do that, including this very window, everything gets killed. So when you exit, one way to do it is using this command. Now let us talk about putting process in background. A little before I used ampersand sign, and that means do it in background. So let me show that to you. So I'm going to do cd ee102l. What was the let's see. The directory I created was ee102l Unix. Okay. So cd ee102l. So pwd ls. So I want to create another file, Emacs, welcome to Los Angeles. But this time I'm not putting any ampersand sign. So yes, it does open that application or window, and lets me type whatever let me work in that application. But the problem is, one second, welcome to Los Angeles, not anyway. So I can do whatever I want in this, but unfortunately I cannot do anything. I cannot copy something. I cannot work on this. I can use Control Z to suspend this process. So let me do that. Control Z. So I stop the process. please notice that since I stopped the process, that window becomes not usable. Uh, so this window became blank at this time. Basically the process became unusable, it is suspended. I can put that process in background, busy, put it in background. So see, it's like equivalent to typing Emacs welcome LA with ampersand. So ampersand means put it in background. So I can say I can use this process, and I can also do something here like ls. So it's a good idea to put process such as this in background so that you can keep using this terminal window for other tasks such as listing, etc. Let's proceed. Or now I can use FG foreground. That means I'm stuck to that process. It's not in background, that is in the foreground. FG is foreground. Control Z is to suspend. BZ is for background. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, foreground, background, we discussed that. Next. Quota is an important command. Quota minus V, let me show you that. So CD, I am in my home directory, pwd, I'm in my home directory, quota minus V. Please notice that I am given quota, disk quota on SCF06. But when I do quota minus V, it shows all SCF partitions and shows how much I am given. So it simply says I am not given anything on SCF28, SCF31, so on and so forth. However, I am allocated 200,000 blocks, actually kilobytes, which means 200 megabytes on SCF06. Once again, 200 megabytes, out of which I have used 181 megabytes. Students are usually given 100 megabytes and they should not exceed, and if they exceed, here there will be a message, exceeded quota, remove files within 7 days. And if you do not remove within the stipulated time, your account may be blocked by IST. So this is the quota, this is your usage. Time left to reduce your usage if you exceeded. So it's important that if you exceed, first your applications don't run. When you modify some file, it doesn't get saved. So you have to be careful not to exceed. So the recommendation is that you do this quota week command once in 2 weeks and be within your limit of 100 megabytes. And then if you exceed, you want to remove some useless files, and you want to know where you have been using space quite a lot. And one of the commands you can use is disk usage minus a all with ampersand sign, I mean with pipe to more, and you can see, oh, I've been using so many bytes here, so many. Oh, this seems to be a big file, I want to perhaps consider removing. Nothing is big file, but let's say this is somewhat big directory, I don't need, I can delete. So that is the disk usage. Core files are wasteful files because when some system crashes, it creates a core file, but it will be several megabytes. So you want to find the core file and delete it. Find tilde minus name core. Okay. Printing is using LPR command. I'm not going to go through all the details, but if you type printers, I hope, I'm not sure. Let me try Control U. Control U is to cancel the command printers. Yes, the command printers gives you the printers which you can access, and depending on where you are sitting, if you are sitting in King Hall, you may want to use King Hall printer. If you are sitting in some other place, Taper Hall, some other printer. So LPR is the printer command followed by minus uppercase P followed by the printer name followed by the file name, welcome to USC or whatever. So that's how you print. The LPR command can print the PostScript files, whereas the nscript command can only print text files. Using LPR command, you can print both PostScript and text files, but nscript can only print text files. And in fact, it can beautify the text files. You can choose font, etc. You can view a PostScript file using ghostview or gs command. So let me show that quickly to you. I don't know what PostScript files I have, so let me search ls-lt start.ps. Yes, I do have some PostScript files, for example lab4 question1.ps, and I can use the gs command, ghostscript command, to view on the screen the PostScript file, and that shows the PostScript file, and control C to close it. Let's see some other graphic file. Probably this is a graphic file, gs. I do not know what file it is, but anyway, let's try that. Okay, it shows my schematic, which I want to submit. Maybe I'm drawing a schematic in E102L and I want to submit that. So control C to get out. Now I can use, now what's the file name? Demux inverter something. Anyway, so let me use this command ls, control U, ls-lt, all files starting with demux inverter, and I have only one file, namely this ps file. I can convert this to a PDF file by using the distill command. Distill followed by the ps file creates the PDF file. So I created the PDF file. Let me see what happened. So the PS file is long and is not viewable on web, but PDF file can be opened by Acrobat Reader and can be printed easily using a web browser. Even PDF files can be viewed using the ghostscript command, and I'm seeing the PDF file, and that is the PDF file created. Control C. Okay, let's proceed. Finally, using VNC, later you will be taught in a separate lecture and demo, you will be taught VNC. So some of the things you would like to visit, once again, you can go to USC website ISD and search for Unix. Unix concepts is one of the important places you can go for to look for information on Unix. There's much more to learn in Unix. What I covered is not even 1% of what you would like to eventually learn in Unix. One second, where am I? Oh. Man command is like help command. Man remove. The remove command, I want help on man command. I'm a remove command. So there's a remove command, remove directory command. What are the options available? What are the switches? -F means, -I means interactive. It asks, checks whether you really want to remove or not. Unfortunately, this is not written in a language which is easily understood. So it may or may not be useful, but it's available. That's the man command. Going back to Internet Explorers. So I said Unix concept web page at ISD is an important resource. Then Unix computing at USC talks about some of the basic things. I'll come to that. In E102L and other courses, we'll be using Electronic Product Designer, a tool for simulating logic design. This site with EPD problems HTML talks about how to set up, shows some demo lectures. You can see this lecture about simulation and about how to set up and use EPD. Uh, there is a um, there is a link for there's a link for setup steps, for example, and then we list several common problems students can encounter. So when you see a problem, for example, you open a schematic and it says file logged. So let me search, find the keyword log, LOCK log, and find next. Um, so it's picking up, yes, file logged. So if I receive this file logged error, then probably there is something written what I'm supposed to do. So this is a very important resource. Lastly, on the blackboard, this is the E102L blackboard. We might have posted information such as this. For example, EPD helping students via .rhost. So if you want, you can set up myself. My account is VHDL SUPP, or one of your TS account names you can add to a file called .rhost, which gives complete access for us into your account to help you. But we prefer that you come to us rather than send an email with this mechanism. This is for emergency purposes. What else I need to talk to you? Okay, lastly, about VNC. In this session, I do not want to take time to talk about VNC, but VNC is a mechanism you use to access our tools from home, and your TA or instructor will give you information on this, and you will be downloading from real VNC website VNC viewer onto your PC, and then using VNC to access your account. So let me show you quickly that aspect. So in your Unix account, you start VNC server, and that allocates a display to you. In this particular case, I was given aludra.usa.edu 15091, and then assuming that you had done all the setup, you go to sorry, one second. You go to one second. You go here, you invoke the VNC viewer and say what was the, I was given 15091, so you say 15091 and say OK, and of course it will ask you for VNC password, and then I have the CDE common desktop environment of a Sun workstation. I can open a terminal. I have 4 workspaces. This is another workspace, this is another workspace, this is another workspace. This is how it looks like when you sit in front of a Sun workstation. You can do whatever you were doing like ls, etc. You can open xterm, another terminal, xterm ampersand. So I opened another terminal. In fact, I can open another terminal using this terminal box at the bottom. I can use the file manager. No, this is trash. This is help manager, somewhere file manager, perhaps this home folder. Let's see. So it is like Unix. This is like what you call Windows arrangement, where you can go through the hierarchy of files. and you can start applications X calculator, for example, with ampersand sign. So that shows a calculator. So this is one way of accessing all the Unix tools from home. So for the time I'm exiting that, and here so now that I'm done, hopefully, let me see if I have anything else. Um, oh, there is one more command I would like to. CD E102L Unix, right? ls spell check, spell spell welcome LA, and of course it did not find any errors, so it returned, but otherwise it will return errors, misspelled words. I guess that's all for today. So I can use kill -9 -1 to kill all the process I've opened in one stroke, and that killed everything. Okay, go through this Unix handout and please come to us for more help. Thank you very much, and let me stop this recording. So this recording was done with the help of DEN Distance Education Network, thanks to Bin, Ray and Chris, who helped me to make this recording.